Yeah. I didn't realize that she was head of Queens after all those years.
Ladies, we're now live online.
So what are we doing next?
You can interview her now live, and it's being recorded.
Okay. Okay, Barbara. So, we now want to look at some of your. We now want to look at some of your the time that you spent when you came back from England, and then came back to St. Andrew High School as a teacher. So tell us a bit about that. I believe you were aboard. You boarded?
Yes, I was a boarder, and were sort of associated with some of my past teachers, which was good, but scary at the same time.
Including your headmistress?
Yes, Scotty was no, did she leave? The same year that I came back, same year she left, so I don't think she was actually, I think maybe Mr. Cody was actually Miss Dawson was left. Because it was Miss Dawson, before I graduated, Miss Dawson wrote me and offered the post as visit teacher. So then I came back to St. Andrew.
Wonderful. And you spent about 6 years, I gather?
8.
8 years. That's an average. Tell us a bit about how you motivated your students in PE classes, because I must tell you that PE was one of my least favorite subjects.
It was hard because, well, you know, they like certain things, but they didn't really want to do the vigorous things like gymnastics, which we had all the equipment, so I was trying to encourage their students to participate. That was a little hard for them. So the more agile ones were, they could do that. I also did some dancing, and that helped because those who were not really interested in the actual calisthenics and stuff would come in and do the folk dancing and stuff like that. The hall was not really suitable for introducing modern contemporary dance because it had been the floor. The floor was not necessarily suitable. But I think what I remember with some of the students who really always came with an excuse, I have a pain here and I have a pain there, was that I used to send them to walk around the hall. I think a lot of students have come back and said, remember you used to send us to walk around the hall? I said, yes, because you need to get the exercise. Yeah. And some come and say, you know, I thank you for that. Because it got me involved in walking.
And I believe you were very active in netball too.
Yeah, I thought sports, athletics, netball, and hockey. Those were the three specialties. And in actual fact, I'm really looking around to see if there was any record of the 3 years. It was the first 3 years that I was here that St. Andrew entered
netball competition.
No, the girls' championships. And second year that I was here, we won championships. I don't see that recorded. I don't see any photographs or anything. St. Andrew won championships the first year, which was like unheard of. And second year, we came third. And then after that, we came like fifth because the country schools got involved. And once the country schools got involved, they really had the ability to.
So that would have been in the early 1960s, maybe.
Yes.
Or late 50s.
Like 60, 61, because actually because it had been closed and it didn't start until about 60. Started with 61, 62, 63, somewhere around there. And we had people like Wilma Charlton, a bunch of really athletic students came into the college, school.
So you tutored Wilma Charlton?
Yes, she'll never let me forget it.
Wonderful.
She tells everybody, this is a lady who got me involved in sports, this is my athletics teacher.
Fabulous. Well, Barbara, you have been honored in many ways, not only by the government of Jamaica, when you got your OD, but also by the National Dance Theatre Company, of which you were a founding member, as well as your silver musgrave medal from the Institute of Jamaica. Yeah. So you have brought dance, you've taken dance to a new level.
Right. I hope so. I didn't set up intentionally to do that, but things just happen that way.
Yes. But I believe at Dartford College you did say that you were introduced to certain techniques which you used when you were setting up your dance school.
Yes,
So
actually,
tell us a bit about that.
the Laban technique was introduced by Ballard, President Ballard, who is a well-known British dance educator. She was a student of Laban, and this was the era that we worked on for dance aspect of the PE program, which I enjoyed more than any other part. And I learned a lot, and I was able to introduce it. It's a concept that dance is for everyone, and every child should dance. And that led into the basic Dance and Child International program that I got involved in the late 1980s.
And yes, and I believe the Ministry of Education asked you to be involved in curriculum development for primary teachers, an integrated arts program. That was in about the 80s or something?
Well, shortly after I started teaching, they did ask me to help them develop the program, the dance program.
Right.
So I was a part of the actual Rose program. I was helped to develop the Rose program for dance. And then I did this was when, actually this was in 1995, 96, somewhere around there, when I became dean of the performing arts.
At Edinburgh.
And the ministry wanted to offer this integrated arts program for music, dance, drama, and visual arts. So they asked me to coordinate it and help to develop the program, which lasted for 2 years.
Were you able
very
to?
successful, but for some reason I think funding.
Yeah.
They
Did it mean that there were different teachers that were sent all over the island?
well, no, we got teachers coming in from all over the island. We had to set them up, find places for them to stay. And they boarded at Michael. And they would come in and do classes for 4 days a week. And all the arts, for art forms. And learn to integrate these courses into, these art forms into their education curriculum.
So that's on the education side. We want to talk a little bit, just quickly, about your dance career with the National Dance Theatre Company of Jamaica. How did you get into dance in Jamaica?
Well, I
started Ivy Baxter.
Yes, I started with Ivy Baxter, and that's where I met Eddie Thomas and Requa, the late Requa. We were very close friends throughout. And when Ivy school started to kind of disintegrate, because she had gone away to study, and we were trying to keep it together, but somehow or the other we started working together with other members from the school and other dancers, Madam Sui and some of the other dance students that were around. Dancers got together and we decided one New Year's Eve, we had a party at Rex's house, and we decided we want to start a dance company, and that was it.
What do you think is the recipe for the success of the NDTC? I mean, it's celebrated 50 years now.
Well, I think Professor Hector is basically the success, because he just has that capacity to keep people together, inspire people, and he certainly inspired all of us and kept us in order.
Yes, and he's now gone, and hopefully.
But his spirit lives on, and we are determined to keep it going. We have a current batch of students, of dancers now, that are really keen and interested in taking standards.
What tips would you give to young ladies who want a career to study dance? What should they be?
What should they
be doing to get involved?
Well, they have to have a passion. They have to have a passion for dance. That's the first thing. They're not interested in it. But if it's for exercise sake, that's one of the best forms of exercise. I would definitely recommend it to anybody, because it's fun. It's good for processing the muscle and other aspects of the body. So I think it's one of the best, better than aerobic.
And you have two daughters who, I believe they got involved in dance.
Well, all my daughters, but 3 out of 4 got involved with the NDTC.
And we're going to meet with them
We're
shortly.
going to meet with them so they can tell their story.
That's
I
right.
don't want to get my head chopped off.
Thank you so much, Barbara. We're going to meet with them and hear more
It was
about
nice
it.
talking to you guys.
Thank you so much for coming.
Bye-bye.
Come, we're live, ladies.
That's from Joe. So walk behind please.
Nice.
So we have them.
So, fabulous.
Upcycle.
Oh, too many, 1, 2, 3. And we welcome Claire, and who's wearing this wonderful pendant, which she made herself, and we'll talk more about that, and Suzanne. Claire and Suzanne, Requa. The Requa family, the second generation of St. Andrew High School girls. So we want to talk a little bit about your time at St. Andrew High. Tell us a little bit about that, Claire, and then Suzanne.
I have really vivid memories of the first time today I think has a great deal to do with Mrs. Gooden.
Mrs.
Gooden.
Good. Who was she?
She was a craft teacher, and I remember I have very strong memories of learning to do leatherwork and basket making and tie-dye and printing. I remember once there was a competition every year, and it was divided up into who could make the best piece, It was ironing, which was such a surprise. And my father had his first iron by our helper. And I remember saying, I have to iron a shirt to enter the competition. I did win, but it was such a strange, I look back on that thinking, shirt iron, okay. But I did another year, I did a print, which actually I reused only 8 years ago. On one of the bags that I used to make. I used to work for a company designing recycled shopping bags.
Right.
And I used that same design that I had won in the competition 40 odd years before. And the bag was a huge success. Huge. So that was kind of another person I made a push on, Mrs. Hector. Every time I make scrambled eggs, and I have this vivid memory of her saying, break each egg in a bowl and pour. Don't throw everything one time. So every time I make my scrambled eggs, I have a quick. Don't mix everything one time, take your time, pour one egg, pour one egg.
So Mrs. Titus was a homemade teacher.
She was a homemade teacher. Yes. So those are two of the teachers that I remember most clearly.
Suzanne, what about you?
I don't really remember much about school itself.
Really?
A lot of friends from the school from
Ah,
others, and
another friendship.
we still have friends from the prep school, alumna. So that's most of my memories here with friends, the field, the different places like Tuck Shop, and just walking around the school now. I can remember various classes that we used to have biology or a homeschool for class was each year, and my teacher I remember most is Mrs. Clover, who's actually the vice
Oh,
principal.
really?
She was history. She taught us history, and I actually did history in college too. So I love history.
So were you both here under the same headmistress? Or Claire, you were under, who was the headmistress at your time? Was it Saunders or was
I
it
had and the
Saunders, yes.
Yes,
And you had to read them. So tell us about some people have very strong feelings about their school uniform. How did you feel about your school uniform? Tell me about that.
Well, when I came, they had just stopped wearing the hat. I did manage to have, I started in 67 and I did get a hat. But I think that was the year that they decided they were going to do it more with the hats.
Was that the Jamaica uniform or was that the plaid?
Checkered. Yes.
Checkered.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually still have mine.
Do you?
Yes. It's all written upon because when we were leaving, everybody signed it. So but I still have it. And then we had this yellow and blue and
That's right.
lavender
Yes.
tunic thing.
Yes, with the zip in front.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was a strange dress, I thought. Very strange dress.
Yeah.
So those were two we had.
And you had the same?
Same.
You called it the janitor's dress?
Yes.
That's what they used to call it.
And were you both in the same house as your mother? And that was that. Darling and Stockhausen. That's interesting. Well, that's interesting because my daughter also was put in a separate different house from me. I was Darling and she was put in Ark.
I think they were trying to put in a different house and I kind of insisted on having to be darling. So I wrote them in a small.
So were you very involved in inter-house competitions like the Ashore Cup and so on? Did you get involved in that?
I don't think we had a choice. I don't think we had a choice. We had to participate. So, yes. Did you have a choice? I don't think so. No, we had the sports day. Yes, exactly.
Tell us about some of the influences at school. Do you think that there were, apart from the teachers, were there any values or attitudes that took you through life or have taken you through life that you can think back on?
This is good. Again, I have to go back to her because it's because of her that I took this very, very strong interest in arts and crafts. And that took me all the way to now. I have a really strong basic sort of values, about making things and making them right and making them well and
Standards.
yes.
I think we all have been influenced by that. Teachers always were encouraging us to do the best.
Exactly.
And you have done extremely well in your field, which is design. And I'd like you to tell us a bit about that. I believe that you work in both polypropylene and acrylic.
Yes, that's right.
And you're selling your products all over the world, Paris and Copenhagen and wherever. So tell us about how you got into that. And
I was just thinking of the day when I was standing at the Devon House Craft Fair Christmas here. How different it was from 37 years ago when I was standing here. And back then I was making cushions and stuffed dolls and things like that. But I've taken that craft thing with me for my whole life. So when I moved from Jamaica, I went to Los Angeles. I had a small design company where I made clothes that were tie-dye. And I took that tie-dye thing to very high levels. I sold clothes to shops in Los Angeles, and then when I moved to Copenhagen, I did the same thing there. I did well there as well with that. So I've always had that craft thing that has driven me. I've never really been so driven by anything else.
which I imagine makes you quite unique in terms of your work and your products.
I think so. I think I've always, I find that I'm usually, 5-6 years ahead of the thing, and then, after I've done it and finished with it, then it gets popular, and I'm thinking, all right, okay. But it's driven me my whole life. This need to make things with my hands and to fill some needs in a nice aesthetic way.
And your product line is called Claire de Lune, I believe.
The lighting line is called Clear to Lune.
Tell us about that now. Lighting. Is it shades?
It is lamp shades mostly.
In
polypropylene. I started with one lamp shade in polypropylene, and I made it for a magazine house that was going to include it in their offers, you know, so the money
Freebies.
exactly. And it had a specific objective that it should be fit into a door into the mailbox and slot. So after I made that lamp, I thought, well, this is kind of nice. I'm going to do some more. And then I did the chandelier. And it had a special history. We moved myself and my partner, we moved into a home that had very high ceilings. And I thought, we could design something that a lot of people can afford and also has a feeling of, you know, the 1850s and sort of big luxury. And then I did that in polypropylene and was encouraged by the same friend who named the line Culinary, because I wanted to call it Culinary Onion, and she said, no, that's too not glamorous and not sophisticated at all. So she named it Culinary. So that's the name of the lighting series. So I have also mirrors, which I include in that. And then I moved on to upcycling the spare parts, the scraps, the waste from the production of the chandeliers.
Because you're a very strong component of the environment.
Exactly, I've always been. So, so I started to use waste to make the jewelry. So all the parts.
So that's one of them. You
So
go,
yes, so all the parts, you know, when I'm cutting the
using every bit of the
yes, I
material.
use all. It's sort of just from here we make small earrings.
Wonderful, yes.
So this is.
And they're very attractive.
I think so.
Yes, yes.
So this is.
And that's one too?
Yes.
Oh, pendant, beautiful. So you use different colors?
I use
That
different
is that the acrylic or the
This is
propylene?
also acrylic, yes. I did some red.
What's the difference between the
chandeliers.
acrylic and propylene?
Polypropylene is so the first thing, polypropylene is a more eco-friendly plastic.
Okay.
When it burns, it doesn't give off poisonous gases. Like you have PVC and other plastics that are environmentally, when you're throwing in the environment, they last, you know, a gazillion years. Polypropylene is not one of those. It's flexible and it's used in a lot of products. The acrylic is not as eco-friendly. However, if you had a chandelier in acrylic, you would have a lot longer maybe, because one, the cost, and number two, that it's something that fits in a lot more places.
Tell us a little bit about your marketing, because I'm fascinated that you seem to have taken on the marketing very seriously. That's why you're all over the world.
Yes.
Tell us about those trade shows.
Yes, it's the first chandelier which I made in paper, of course, trying to form it and to see how it felt. Also, it required, for me, my process is about having the things around me and I'm using them as I go. So I would have like 6 different versions hanging around in the house. And people would come by and they would be like, what's that? And they would come with comics. And one of the comics was, why you don't take that to a trade fair? And this was not something I had thought about. So I did do that. I took it to a trade fair in Copenhagen and then one later to Frankfurt. And while I was in Frankfurt, my intention was that I would sell the design to some manufacturer. However, a big shop in Sweden came by and placed a huge order. And so I was forced immediately to find out how it really produces, mass produce it, and how we package it, and how we so all these things. This is an extremely steep learning curve. And it's about getting your product out there and letting people know you have it. Mom used to tell me one thing. She said, you make nice things, you're very creative, but if it sits down in your house, who knows you have it? And so this has also been something that has, you know, I hear her voice saying this to me.
Wonderful.
Okay, I have to make sure that people know. So it's sending emails to magazines, it's calling journalists up, it's contacting blogs now. Back then it wasn't so much about blogs, but now. And it's
So you do all of that yourself?
Yes. Of course, the website is an absolute must. You know, your business cards, all these things. You know.
So for a lot of young entrepreneurs out there who may be watching this blog, it's very important for them to understand this whole thing of marketing.
This is just as essential.
That's right.
And they say the creative part is only 10%. When you have the product sitting there, the creative part is only 10%. So the other 90 is administration,
Right.
it's marketing, it's packaging, it's all these things that go to getting it on the shelf.
Right.
And if you can't do it yourself, you have to ally yourself with somebody who can do it for you. This is important. Very, very important.
Suzanne, you've learned a lot from mom too. She said mom has told her. So tell us some of your experiences now in terms of your own career and what you're doing. I believe you're in events planning and various other things.
Fell into it.
Yes, but you're also an IT specialist too. Not really.
No, I went the other side. I went towards hotels and culinary, more that field than the other side of the creative side.
Yeah, but it's also creative.
Yes, right. But when I left Andrews, I went to California and I was with Claire for a while, and we do many trade shows. And she was selling her client guy those days. I ended up getting up there and got my first job there and just getting up into the world. And then I moved to DC and
Washington DC.
And went to school at the whole up there. And
What did you specialize in?
well, it was history at first because like that's what I did with Mrs. William. And then I wanted to do law, so I did a pre-law class there, which I realized was not for me. And so I just did a side line, like a minor in hospitality.
Okay.
Hospitality
Yeah.
management. So I did that for a while, and then I worked in a couple of restaurants, some were Jamaican restaurants. My friend student had a restaurant over there called Negril, and I worked there for a whole bunch of my time there.
So that's in Washington DC, Negril restaurant.
Yes. She's been around for about 28 years. And so I worked with them for a while. Then I left and went to culinary school in Baltimore. And then from there I went to United. So I've been doing that since 1996. And then when I got married and had kids, I decided hotel life was a little too hectic. And I got a job working with a company that I could work from home, but also some hotels, sponsor hotels for companies. So I took that lead.
So you're kind of quasi-tourism industry,
Still
plus
in
your
business,
own business.
Exactly.
Yes,
So like independent contractors, but we have the flexibility of working from home
right.
as well as get my regular paycheck.
And I believe you were involved in the Old Girls chapter in Washington, where you helped them organize, what was it?
Yeah, we did a golf tournament in 2011 to raise some money. We raised about, it was the first try, so we only had about 24 golfers that came out. But we raised about $2,500 US, which was pretty good for a start.
That's right. And you're hopefully going to be helping the foundation in their golf tournament this coming year in May.
Yes.
Right. So we look forward to with your experience in Washington DC.
It's a little different, but
yes.
yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yes, DC and Jamaica are a lot different in how they do things,
Right.
but
Right.
it's a learning experience.
Wonderful.
Were you at St. Andrew High School together, but as sisters, no?
No, they actually, Claire and Lois were there. The Lois left when I started, but I was at prep school, so they brought me over. When Claire was in high school, I was at Faye Simpson. So she brought me over from Faye Simpson when I come to school to the back fence. So the back fence at the time between Andrews and Faye Simpson. And the same thing happened at prep school too. They would take me to prep school and then they'll go to high school.
So we were speaking a little earlier and you mentioned you left St. Andrew High School approximately in 1983. Can you share with us what it was like hearing about St. Andrew High from maybe your mom as a past student to know actually being a student in the time that you were here? Did it live up to your expectation?
Oh yes, it's always been the school to go to. I mean, I'm surprised even my younger sister decided to come here and was coming here, but we always knew that we'd be coming here. We always heard good things about St. Andrew High and school and we were actually from prep school. So it was a good thing.
Standards for being over was here, so we're like,
Better be good.
yeah, like we're doing like, I think yes.
And then sometimes I have teachers that Vice and Claire had, and they'll always like, young Requa, or if I'm going to the tuck shop or the cafeteria, the people that work there will always call me young Requa, either from mommy or from Claire and Lois.
Right.
Sometimes they say good things in the cafeteria too. like the chicken all ran out, they'll save me something in the back. It's like that.
So, it's all about curry favor.
Do you remember Frankie or Victor, any of the
Yes.
ancillary staff members? Because he used to save a lot of girls their bottled soda to ensure they got the Pepsi or D&G grape soda or so.
And lots of times I would spend like daddy pick them up to work. Sometimes we forget, and I'll be here until like 6:30 in the evening. And I'll be here only with Frankie. You know, they're waiting in the car park from the company. No cell phones, then you can call and say, where are you?
So did you participate in any clubs or societies and or extracurricular activities such as maybe hockey, netball, drama?
Even swimming, maybe.
Swimming.
I have a vivid memory of when my grandmother came to Jamaica from America. She has this, and I still have a swimsuit actually. She was a very, very buxom lady. Not right now, but anyway, she was a buxom lady at the time, and she had this gold lame crossover swimsuit. It was white, off-white with gold, and then she had a gold lame leaf swimming cap. So after her swimming cap, it's swimming pool because it could swim it out. And I don't know what happened, why you buy the swimming cap and didn't manage to go, or they were out or something. So I had to wear the gold lame one. Boy, those girls, they just had at me. But I remember this gold lame cap. I thought that was really exciting. Yes.
So between the two, you know, I want you to talk to each other about some of your favorite books and movies. You can ask each other. Little known fact about yourself. Tell us.
But you're the reader.
So
I have so many favorites.
yeah?
There's various authors that I read a lot of, I think, consult whatever. It's really fiction, like James Madison.
James Madison. Favorite author.
Just regular John Grisham and
Inspired.
the English ones like Ken Follett.
Okay.
Not so much a reader now. I'm more of a movie person. I'm a workaholic, and I just, it makes it time to
What do you do to
and then
relax?
down.
What do you relax?
It's only a gear down is not really relaxing, because I have the movie in one place and the computer here, so I'm,
Constantly
working on it. Yes, so.
Yeah.
But I have one movie that I like very much, and I'm giving a lot of my own personal philosophy. It's called Character. I think it's called No. And it's about a couple. The guy is gay, and the girl is, and this is second like in the 30s or 40s. They live together. They have a dog that surpasses anything to do with it. They and they have very similar life ideas. They settle up in some place in France, or somewhere, and they invite friends over who sometimes it is the attraction of both the man and the woman, but they surround themselves with people who share their life philosophy of living a life that is without prejudice and without judgment, And it's a beautiful movie. I've only seen it twice, but it's such an enormous on me. That, in my own life, I try to be all people who get me. People are trying to come back to Jamaica because I'm tired of being around people who don't get me.
Oh, that's very interesting.
But,
Yeah.
so yes,
So there are a lot of people who live abroad who do have this strong feeling that
Yes.
wish they could be with people who are more like them, who understand.
Understanding, yes. I didn't think about it just now, actually.
Yeah.
But yes, this will be a huge impact on my life.
And what's a little known fact about you? What is a little known fact about her that a lot of people don't know?
Does Clarke be sure that's clear.
That's
And
how.
there's nothing right, nothing hidden.
No, and I can't bother.
Yeah.
I can't bother with the type of thing.
Right.
I'm not. And that's another reason why I make a lot of my things in transparent material, because I like transparency in my life. I like people to be straight with me, and I like to be straight with people. I don't like the hidden agenda business, and I'm straight up. So I try to be as straight up as possible. So she's right about that.
Yeah. And Claire, what's there about Suzanne that a lot of people don't know?
I don't really like plantain chips.
Chippies, plantain chips.
Plantain chips.
And banana
Banana
chips.
chips.
St. Mary's or Chippies?
Chippies.
Chippy. Oh, chippy.
Like salt and lots of salt.
What's the first thing that you think of doing in terms of having a Jamaican meal when you return to Jamaica? It's the first, is it a patty or?
I would love when I get picked up the moment. That patty waiting in the car when I come home. Barbara.
Any preference? It could be a mother's patty, juicy or tasty.
I'm vegetarian, so I don't eat beef patties. But any
In
patty,
the middle. Stay in the middle there.
any patty.
So we were saying what are the key foods they love as soon as they get off the plane? Yes, and if they're arrived and they want something Jamaican. Terry saying patty, hard bread.
Here.
Yes, yes.
We don't have that waiting. Like sugar buns.
And sugar buns. And what? Grape nuts. Grape nut ice
I
cream.
know. I haven't had that for a long time.
Yes, so you might have to go there right
Yes,
after
I
this.
think so. Yes.
Finally, advice for current students that you'd like to give them based on your experience in life.
Me?
All three.
All three. So we'll start with Barbara.
Well, I think we have to maintain the spirit of St. Andrew High School.
Which is?
I think loving each other, working with each other, working together, and supporting each other. I think that's what has come out of my experience here.
And also to get people involved. I mean, there are a lot of people, I know we were trying to plan a reunion one year, and it was very hard to get past students to get involved in the reunion and come, and we ended up canceling it.
Right.
Yeah, so
So as a past student, you should keep in touch with the school and get involved.
yeah.
And I think I'm going to go with the golden rule and perseverance. I think not enough people are looking out for their person beside them. You know, it's all about me, and I think we need to be a bit more selfless and think about others and to apply the golden rule. You know, things can also happen to you at some point in your life that you wish somebody would have shown some consideration. And so I can push that and the perseverance, you know.
So being caring, more
Yes.
caring.
Yes,
And,
definitely.
and perseverance is certainly something that I think all of us as an elder have benefited from. You just keep going no matter what.
Yes,
And
exactly.
I think
You don't have to be an A student, you can
Keep
still be
going at
there,
it.
just keep at it.
Right, because to make a success of your life in whatever way you find to be at the top.
The school's motto is life more abundant. Do you believe that that has kept with you throughout your life? And if so, how?
Well, I've lived abundantly. I'm going to be 18 in another 10 days.
Wow.
So
Happy birthday.
I think I'm living life
And I hope to do the same too.
Yes, we're all want to do that.
Yes, so wonderful. Well, thank you so much, the Requa family and the Requa girls.
Thank you for
Thank
asking.
you.
Long may
sharing
you
this.
serve. Thank you so much. So that was going out live, you know.